The 1960s were a turning point for Western societies. The ruinous effect of 2 world wars, the atom bombs dropped over Japan, and a string of events such as the Vietnam War provoked a huge reaction against the established order by American youth. The situation was no different in European countries. Young people opposed existing orders and became caught up in perverted movements in a flagrant desire to rebel or to attract attention. Degenerate behavior and perverted beliefs were spread by the day. Young people claiming to be opposed to war established a movement that would leave its imprint on the 1960s. This was the beginning of the hippie culture. It seemed that the world was full of young people ready to fill the world with flowers, all for the sake of peace. They believed that the way forward was to be natural and free. In reality, their perverse philosophy was a convenient front for degeneration. These people knew no bounds, often spending the whole day dancing, drinking alcohol, and taking drugs. Far from bringing peace to the world, they went down in history as the adherents of an immoral intellectual movement that mankind could never accept. At this time, many young Westerners and a number of Western intellectuals abandoned centuries-old Christian beliefs after being influenced to this immoral culture. Many set about looking for an alternative lifestyle. Some made the grave error of choosing atheism and established a front against religion and its teachings. This distorted trend was directed by certain and particular circles. For example, the lyrics to the song "Imagine" by John Lennon, former soloist of the Beatles, regarded as the most popular music group of all times, provides a striking instance of this. Through the words of this song, Lennon sought to impose atheism on vast masses of people. Pop groups had an enormous effect on societal culture in the 1960s. It is well known that powerful lyrics to influential songs shape people's thoughts. A single action, article of clothing, or ideology of a pop group is often the catalyst for shaping the thoughts of certain societies. Heading the list of such groups were the Beatles. When Beatles member George Harrison announced that he had converted to Hinduism, millions of Beatles fans developed an interest in it. For that reason, tunes, clothing, and actions belonging to Far Eastern religions became the subject of deep interest among hippie youth in the 60s and 70s. As well as the entertainment sector, various famous individuals from different sections of Western society adopted Far Eastern culture and supported the spread of this culture among young people. In later years, this culture would combine with various superstitious beliefs, and a new, deviant religion would raise its head. The New Age movement. The hippy culture, popular during the 60s and 70s, and the Far Eastern religions embraced by Western society at that same time, never really lost influence over society. In essence, the culture repackaged itself under a new name: the New Age. This distorted movement fused Far Eastern religions with superstitious beliefs that had no belief in God. The ultimate aim of this movement was to rid society of all revealed religions. The starting point of this movement was theosophical societies, founded first in America and then in Europe, which aimed to bring Far Eastern culture into the lives of Westerners. Theosophy Society was first established in 1875 in New York by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky and Colonel Henry Steele Olcott, strong admirers of Far Eastern religions, especially Hinduism and Buddhism. Blavatsky was a traveler with an interest in hidden teachings, beliefs that claimed they could make contact with the spirits, magic, mysticism, and the superstitious rituals of Far Eastern religions, for which reason she several times visited such countries as India, Tibet, China, and Japan. Faith in God had no place in Blavatsky's teachings. Instead, man was allegedly raised to divine status. God is beyond that. In her view, people had to bring out the power they possessed by using such methods as communing with the spirits, meditation, and yoga. These perverted beliefs of Blavatsky's formed the basis of the Theosophical Society. The Theosophical Society played a major role in the manifestation of Far Eastern religions in Western culture, and in the degeneration of that same culture. The New Age movement was begun by a former member of the Theosophical Society, Alice A. Bailey. Bailey set out the fundamental values of the new movement she had initiated in her 2-volume work, Discipleship in the New Age. According to the principles set out in that work, the New Age movement accepted all the superstitious teachings of the Theosophical Society. It contained the beliefs of pagan religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and shamanism, as well as various superstitious so-called sciences. Heading the list of these were magic, foretelling the future, spiritualism, prophecy, and mysticism. After Bailey, the New Age teachings swiftly gathered support and became an important component of Western culture. This teaching was a deception, however, which contained claims in